Hey, it's Debbie, and I wanted to share with you some slides on what does a FDN practitioner, health investigator do to help resolve metabolic chaos, what is metabolic chaos, and more. So I'm going to share my screen as I am a big visual learner myself. So let's head to PowerPoint beginning slideshow. In 2013, I experienced extreme fatigue, not functioning at my optimal level. I went from thriving as a competitive athlete, small business owner, fitness studio owner, highly ambitious, high performer, and went from feeling amazing to feeling basically as crap in 2013, March, middle of March to be exact. And I could not get help. I was struggling, trying to understand what was wrong with me. I did see different functional medicine doctors. They did functional lab testing. They gave the results and gave me a supplement program to follow. But nothing really was working for me because I was trying to out supplement poor lifestyle habits. Today, I um I am on a mission to help you learn about what FDN practitioners do, how I work to inspire, guide, motivate other people that are high performers trying to do too much of everything, who are motivated to be fit and healthy from the inside out at a cellular level. We call chronic stress disease, I say chronic stress disease, but in FDN, we term it all as metabolic chaos. We don't treat lab results. Symptoms are a result of the problems. And to me, it's usually accumulation of chronic stress externally, and then hidden sources we'll go into that we reveal with functional lab testing of chronic stressors that are under the hood. And for my story, I moved from Bellevue, Washington in 2020. We decided to put our house up for sale April 2020, pretty soon after what happened in March 2020 that we all know about. I was working remote, stopped personal training people in person, and was focusing on being an FDN practitioner full time, combining my FDN work with my nutritional therapy work and personal training and coaching background. I moved to North San Diego with Neil, my husband, and we bought a house about August, September-ish is when we moved in, 2020. And suddenly it's almost 5 years since all this happened. And I'm now ready to focus on helping you be your best self in the future, helping you gain the tools to figure out what you need to do today at your current life, your current self, to be the best you in the future. Suddenly I'm 53 years old, and I watch how we all age and how I'm changing, and I'm trying not to change. I look in the mirror, go, oh, who is that? I don't feel any older. I feel the same as I did 10 years ago, but I want us all to learn what we need to do, as we all are unique bio individuals. So with that, I want to share these slides from our stress and hormone presentation I have through FDN work as a practitioner. Okay, so let me move me out of the way. Let's see over here. Now, this is a live webinar that I'm replaying, but if you're listening to this based on the title of this seminar, this video recording, you may be here watching this video because you're similar to me, a high performer, overachiever, trying to do all the right things. You're not getting the desired results. You have been stuck in the cycle of trial and error. Maybe you are exercising and not getting the results that you want. You feel that you have hormone stress symptoms, but you're not feeling your optimal self. Perhaps you've gone to a practitioner, a functional medicine doctor, naturopath, regular doctor, maybe Chinese medicine. I saw 8 different doctors until I found FDN practitioner work. Maybe you are in that place that you're trying lots of stuff, but nothing is helping you. And your health problem is starting to interfere with your life. As my adrenal exhaustion, we used to call it, interfered with the things I like to do in life. I love to train. I love to be outside. I love to be exercising. My life was that. I was owned a fitness forward studio in Bellevue, Washington for 10 years. I taught run group Wednesdays and Fridays, and I taught classes and trained clients. And on top of that, I was training for Ironman and then marathons off season. And then I was doing long distance cycling events and trail running. I was doing too much of everything. So it's not your fault. It's just getting someone that can help you, as myself or another practitioner, that understands your drive, that you're frustrated. You are motivated and committed to figuring out what is actually going on under the hood, and you're exhausted of not getting the answers that you want. Often I found that people that I saw that were supposed to be helping me, experts, they were treating the lab results and not treating the person. Even if it was in functional lab ranges, in optimal ranges, we need to look at the whole picture. And as we do as FDN practitioners, you'll see our order of operations and how we look at multiple labs and see patterns, correlations. And we work on what we call the DRESS protocol, similar to what I've done for 10 years, the holistic method. As I always say on my podcast, you cannot out supplement poor lifestyle habits. If you don't work on, say, you need to start with your sleep routine or nutrition, we need to meet you where you are on your health building journey and figure out where your biggest area of opportunity is. And I find sleep often impacts everything else. So let's dive in. Now, I have the podcast you hopefully are listening to already. That's why you're here on the YouTube channel, Coach Debbie Potts Show. I just changed the name this year because I really wanted to talk about different topics about how we can be fit and healthy from the inside out so we can thrive as we age and not struggle. I feel that we don't need to blame the aging process, embrace it. Instead, do things differently. And we call it metabolic harmony, how to create metabolic harmony to create fat loss, muscle gain, performance in life and sports, and longevity, mostly looking at what you can do today to be your best self in the future. In my previous life, I owned Fitness Forward Studio. Over time, I created what I call the holistic method, 8 elements to transforming the whole you from the inside out, which is why I became an FDN practitioner, because I really felt doing nutritional therapy analysis, I really needed to know more about what was actually going on under the hood and not guessing using functional lab testing. And I wrote 2 books, Life is Not a Race. It is a journey to share my experience, my struggles, my kind of timeline of what happened to me and why it didn't happen to other people. Why did I have this metabolic chaos, internal breakdown, and burnout in my body systems when other people I know still to this day are training for Ironmans and racing top of their age group? What was different about the way I was living life and why I was not able to thrive? That's where I got into genetics and looking at what else is going on besides functional lab testing. All right, so symptoms of chronic stress, and I apologize, I have allergies right now, so I have drippy nose, but someone did this infographic and they spelled symptoms wrong, but I just thought it was a helpful chart to look at: fatigue, rapid thoughts, digestive problems, digestion. All these are symptoms, but they're not looking at, what, not treating the symptoms, but treating why are they happening. If you follow my podcast, I always like to go backwards. Let's look at the root cause, work your way up north. Now, often we are stuck in the cycle of trial and error. You've been similar to myself. My journey was seeing all these different doctors, and they would tell me I need antidepressants. Nothing's wrong with you. It's all in your head. Maybe you need to take some medication. And then I was doing keto at the time when I had my adrenal exhaustion or metabolic chaos, we like to say, in 2013. I was for the previous years doing a lot of extreme low carb, but I was also training at high level. And I look back what we know about perimenopause. I was probably starting perimenopause in my early 40s, and hormones are changing. And I was doing a lot of exercise and training and racing at competitive level for being trying to win the top of my age group. So being keto at that time, low carb, higher fat, fasting, I did probably everything too much. And then also I was doing a lot of the fasting that I wasn't getting my macros in and hitting my protein goals that we know today. We need to get the protein in and enough calories at my activity level. We can't just treat, you have low B vitamins, B12, take B12, take iodine, do this, do that. We get stuck in trying this, trying that based on what you read about on Instagram or TikTok, or you listen to podcasts, you're watching YouTube videos. We're just guessing and you're stuck in the trial and error. And then you continue on training, you do your strength training, you're taking medications, you're spending a lot of money and nothing's really working because you're just stuck in that cycle of trial and error. Is that you? Does that make sense? Now, what if you go see your doctor? As I just looked at someone's lab work yesterday from their doctor and they said everything's normal. When I was trying to get someone to help me, I was seeing all these naturopaths, by the way, nothing wrong with them, but they were still looking at the labs and not treating me as a person. And a lot of doctors in traditional medicine are looking at normal ranges, and they're diagnosing and giving medication for this or that. So to me, it's more of a band-aid. And I always say on the videos, and when I'm working with people, we want to look at our lab results, not normal. Normal is not ideal. Normal is based on sick people. We want to be optimal. And the ranges in functional medicine are very different than average norms that you see on your lab results. So are the hormonal problems a deficiency in Lexapro? Are headaches asthma deficiency? Is insomnia Ambien deficiency? No. If abnormal lab results are not the problem, they're only a result of the real problem. So treating symptoms or treating the lab values, clients get stuck in the cycle of trial and error. Yes, diet and exercise are important. I don't like the word diet. We'll switch it to nutrition. But if you are chronically stressed out and you're trying keto, you're trying carnivore, planning plant-based, you're doing isogenics, airborne, or whatever new programs out these days. What was it? Not body health. What's the one? Forget. But there's all these different ones that you can take a shake and take this and do that. And then there's intermittent fasting we went through, all these different trends. And then there's fitness trends. There's Orange Theory, CrossFit, F45, all these different classes that you can do. But if you've listened to my podcast on training and canoeing metabolism testing and zones, heart zones, most people in those classes are doing zone 3. They're not doing zone 2 at your peak fat max, and they're not doing true interval training. So we want to look at what is there that you're not doing. What are your areas of opportunity? What does your body need? What does healthy eating mean to you? As we find that most people have a lot of food sensitivities when they have leaky gut. And why do you have leaky gut? Work up the chain, chronic stress. Now, Reed Davis created FDN, and he did it because he was doing functional lab tests and thousands of lab tests of men, women, and children who they didn't get better. So he created the FDN way in our Dress for Health Success program. So he figured out getting people stuck out of the cycle of trial and error. And we'll go into our system. He was feeling the needs gap. We dropped root cause for metabolic chaos and helping fill the need. Metabolic chaos, we say, is this imbalance in hormones. If we look at the connection of breaking down and building up and looking at all these different areas that are impacted by imbalance, and we call metabolic chaos. I call it also chronic stress disease. So we want to help you as FDN practitioner. We want to be your health investigator and make sure you're the last person that you see. We'll spend hours on investigating, putting all this information together to figure out what is best for you. So how do we fill the needs gap? Well, we don't chase the symptoms or the lab values. Your true root cause may never be known. We're filling the needs gap, sorting out metabolic chaos. And you can't see the lightning, the font colors here, but the cycle, trial and error, and dance through stress and hormone issues. We want to figure out what's going on. Getting stuck out of this trial and error, the newest drug, the newest diet, the newest exercise program, therapy, supplements. What we can do is start with a stress survey. If you want to text me or message me below from this video comments, I will get an email when you comment below, and I can send you this stress survey and see, do you struggle right now, the last 6 months, with any of these symptoms? How long has it been bothering you? How long has this been impacting your life, your activities, your family life, your social life, your attitude, your mood, your workout sessions, just your life responsibilities? When I was struggling, I was depressed because I couldn't do what I loved to do. I had no energy. I was having naps in the middle of the afternoon instead of going for a bike ride or for a run. And I was even more depressed because I couldn't do that. I couldn't run. I didn't have the strength. And so everything was, I couldn't run, so I'd walk. And then I wasn't able to partake in training group rides and workouts and doing races. And that's, at the time, my life was around that world, and I had a lot of fun, but I had something else going on. I was doing too much of everything. Where is your source of stress? It all accumulates, as I call the beaker of stress, contributors to and the results of metabolic chaos. So stress is any influence, internal or external, that causes or leads to malfunction. So it's not just stress of me overtraining. It can be mental, emotional, spiritual stress, fear, worry, excitement, anxiety, any of these bad attitudes. All this can be a source of chronic stress. Your thoughts. Physical trauma accumulates over time and can manifest at any time or any place. So we have physical and biomechanical sources of stress, and that could be poor posture, or it could be caring for children, your parents, gardening, yard work. It could be all of these. So getting someone to help guide you, figure out where you are, what's going on. Stress can be well hidden and may involve several layers of investigation: chemical, biochemical, functional. Are you following a standard American diet? Did you recently take antibiotics? Do you have hidden sources of chronic stress as a parasite, H. pylori, candida, some type of bacteria overgrowth? Are you deprived of sleep? Are you eating foods that are coated in glyphosate? Are you inhaling chemicals, breathing in? Are your products at your household you're using filled with chemicals? There's so many sources of chemical, biochemical, and functional stressors. So this metabolic chaos cascade, hidden stress and imbalances, if they're not soon resolved, cascade into other areas. Metabolic chaos begins, causing serious dysfunction, leading to dis-ease and symptoms. Does that resonate with you? Hidden stressors and imbalance. They're not resolved. So maybe they're acute, just short, but if they continue on and they become chronic, These chronic stressors cascade. They become the problem, metabolic chaos, and causing serious dysfunction. And look what happens. So how the problem shows up is the end result. But where is it coming from? The why. This is why you always probably hear me, as I have done this for 5 years now. I continue to get more into the roots, into these rabbit holes, because I'm always curious. Well, why did that happen? Why did that happen? And then zoom out so we can zoom in. So with metabolic chaos, we identify hidden stressors that impact chronic stress, not acute stress, but too much external and internal stressors accumulate and fill up that beaker of stress and impact hormones, immune systems, digestion, detoxification, energy production, nervous system. Now, if you watch my videos I did on digestion and the impacts of chronic stress on digestion, gut health, and immune system, you'll understand the role of the vagus nerve and how that shifts us away from the rest and digest system when we are extremely inundated with chronic stressors inside and out, how we can be shoved over to the sympathetic nervous system, be sympathetically dominant. So what do we do to resolve metabolic chaos? 3 simple steps. Don't make it overwhelming. Try to keep it simple. So first, we assess underlying conditions and contributors to metabolic chaos by running functional lab testing. We order the labs right away. We have 3 to 5 functional labs in our foundations that we can do. Then we customize a Dress for Health Success program while we're waiting for your lab results. And then we run the program, ultimate program in health coaching, based on this full investigation. Test and not guess. We identify what needs fixing and help fix it. So the body works, it has its own innate intelligence. We just need to give it the tools to bring it to homeostasis. It just is lacking some ingredients, but we don't know what we need to work on unless we test what is going on. So step 1, assess metabolic chaos. We run functional lab testing to identify healing opportunities and malfunctions. What's broken? What's not working at optimal level? So again, hidden stands for hormone, immune, digestion, detox, energy production in the nervous system. So we want to look, but we still need to look at the whole picture. HPA axis, hormone or stress profile. We can order a couple different ones, but I like to use the Dutch test. We can use the saliva test instead of the dried urine test, but getting a picture of your cortisol and DHA levels over a 24-hour period, estrogens, progesterones, testosterone, melatonin. We get a snapshot of your overall vital reserve and identify even more healing properties, helps us guide your therapy, points to areas of deeper investigation, and gives us baselines to monitor changes. So I can't help you if I don't know where you are, and I can't meet you where you are unless we reveal these healing opportunities. Our hormone imbalance is the problem or result of the problem. This is what I would say. We don't know. You can't tell if I have chronic stress, adrenal fatigue because of internal stressors first or external. Probably not. They're probably external, but were they magnified because I got a parasite doing 70.3 World Championship triathlon in contaminated water and I got blastohominus? Did that make it worse? Because that happened in the September before I got my real problem. So what's just tipping point, the cherry on top? We identify healing opportunities using the right functional labs to sort out your unique metabolic chaos. So we can look at this as saliva tests, look at your estrogens, progesterone, DHEA, cortisol levels, morning, noon, afternoon, and night. So we get a picture of 4 different times, testosterone, and then we can do, this is saliva test or dried urine test, and then we can look at your blood chemistry panel. But really looking at saliva and your metabolites, I like see what is available. Metabolic wellness profile. This is another test that we can do that is more simple, or we can go deeper. But this is really what we're looking at are markers for digestion, your detoxification, and oxidative stress. This is a simple test we can run that shows us indican, total bile acids, and OHDG. But really, we're looking at these three markers to look at digestion with indican. Do you have leaky gut? Detoxification, how is your bile acids? So that can help us with your bile flow. And oxidative stress marker here with this one, OHDG. So that's what simple tests. Again, we can do a full organic acids test and get a little bit more, but if we're trying to keep it simple and affordable, these are basic tests. The mucosal barrier assessment. See, is your gut wall lining sealed? And I keep doing analogies of the borderline, for example, between Mexico and Canada, that, is your border sealed and your guards are up and you are having no breakdown in that border wall? Or do we have damage to this is the inside of your small intestinal wall or your digestive system, and these little villi, they get to be damaged. We get to have gaps in between and inflammation. Zonulin is one marker that we can do on the mucosal barrier assessment. It's a protein that modulates the permeability of the tight junctions. These are these tight junctions between the cells of the digestive tract wall. Zonulin plays an important role in the creation of what we think as leakiness. So this leakiness, leaky gut increases PM, permeable gut wall lining, metabolic chaos. But leaky gut increases in the evening. And then we have histamine, helps regulate gut function and plays a key role in the body's inflammatory processes. Histamine helps regulate gut function. So we want to check on histamine levels by looking at DAO. One of the ways our body makes sure this histamine levels are in check. So we can look at the zonulin levels, family peptide of zonulin, and diamine oxidase, DAO, and then the ratio between the two. This documents metabolic chaos. Is leaky gut the problem or the result of the problem? Typically, I find the result of the problem. Just makes everything worse. So this is another infographic of what the test looks like for the mucosal barrier. So zonulin, histamine, and DAO. Again, these are simple tests. We can go super in depth and get a larger snapshot, but these are the basics ones we can start with. GI pathogen screening. So we can look at bacteria, parasite, fungal overgrowth, and look at signs of imbalances, dysbiosis, PCR DNA testing. This is C. diff toxins, H. pylori, digestive function, immune function, and look at pathogens, biofilms that interfere with healthy function and prevent healing. So again, are the bugs the problem or result of the problem? In a GI map is this test here. We get these markers, elastase, we're looking at digestion, we're looking at GI inflammatory markers, immune response, commensal bacteria, and more. The other test we'll look at is a food sensitivity test. Now, the one simple one to start with is the mediator release test. This determines which foods are reactive to you. So increasing food sensitivities are common in perimenopause. So just good to know. And I had a big list of them when I started getting tested. And once you heal and seal your gut, after removing these foods for 90 days, you can retest, say 6 months later, but taking these out for 3 months that you're ranked higher will show in the next screenshot of it. But we want to see what foods you might be eating all the time that you think are healthy, but we can't heal the gut if we're putting gasoline on the fire. So we need to identify what foods are now tagged by the immune system to be inflammatory. You're reacting to these healthy foods. And again, why is this happening? So we identify with the functional lab tests these hidden sources of chronic stress, and then we apply the wellness principles. So step 2, Dress for Health Success program. Again, is hidden, stands for something. Dress stands for something. Diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, supplementation. So they have a trademark on it. Dress for Health Success. I know for myself, I didn't shift in healing myself until the last few years because I had to change my entire life. Yes, I've had to start over with my business, and it's been a stress and it's been a struggle because ants stress me out. I hate when ants come back. Ant season, darn it. I don't like having to work on my own. I'd rather work with a team. And I had to learn that trying to do my own business. So you have to learn how to work on the Dress for Health Success program. Isn't just the diet, the rest, exercise, and supplement, but this S, stress reduction. We need to identify those external sources of chronic stress. I ran my fitness studio by myself for 10 years. I would say I should have quit 5 years into it because then it started to get really hard. And so I had to make a big change in my life. And I have, fortunately, a supportive husband, and he could work remote, and we moved. But if I didn't move from Seattle, I probably would still be stuck in that schedule training clients. And when I closed my fitness studio, I was training clients all different locations and then doing FDN work. I was trying to build that up, and then we moved. So I had to start over again. But that's what I needed to do to help in my healing journey. So we want to identify with our assessments, with the functional lab tests, and with our coaching way we dive in and go into a little deeper level, your vital reserve versus metabolic chaos. We need to coach up what is available in your body with diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplements. We work on identifying your external stressors, your hidden stressors we identified with the functional lab testing, and basically anything that's contributing to your metabolic chaos. We coach down metabolic chaos while we coach up your vital reserve. And we help you run the program. I guide you. So this is a picture I show often in my seminars that I'm giving slides, but just how the common progression of chronic stress, HPA axis dysfunction, hypothalamus, pituitary adrenal axis. We want to look at this whole picture. And I want you to remember, we need acute stress. There's great podcasts on a book out. The guy that, what's his name? Jeff, I think, created Commune and used to do Wonderlust. Remember all those events around the world? Well, he wrote a new book on acute stress is good, acute stress. And I need to interview him on the show. But acute stress versus chronic stress, I found myself over here in the red. My goal, my purpose is to help you avoid getting over here. My goal is to educate you enough on this podcast, these videos, to get you to know, oh, I'm doing too much. I need to take a break, reset, recalibrate, and get my body and mind back over here in the green. I don't want to get over here, and we can stop that. You just have to know the red flags. So metabolic chaos refers to the unpredictable state of health caused by complex imbalances in your body's metabolism and hidden environmental factors. It's not just about the symptoms, it's underlying dysfunction that leads to those symptoms. So we can't treat the symptoms. And this is why I think FDN works so much more than other programs, because we're not just looking at the symptoms. We're working on underlying dysfunction, going to the root causes. When standard treatments fail to work, it's often due to metabolic chaos. Instead of addressing the root cause, traditional methods focus on treating the effects, missing the upstream problems that trigger the imbalance. And that's why I keep going back to the vagus nerve. It's more of why are we having all these symptoms? What else? What's driving this? Why is this happening? So, common contributors to metabolic chaos: adrenal dysfunction, circadian rhythm disruption, poor nutrient absorption, gut imbalances or dysbiosis, systemic inflammation, immune deficiencies, detoxification issues. And you can have all this, but we're not, I find we need to work on how we deal with stress, how is our sleep routine, how's your vagus nerve, testing heart rate variability, understanding what is your low frequency to high frequency and how you can stimulate your vagus nerve and strengthen your vagal nerve by measuring vagal tone via heart rate variability. Why symptoms don't matter. Symptoms are merely the result of deeper issues. Focusing only on one symptom relief leads to trial and error, leaving you frustrated. To truly restore health, we need to coach down these underlying contributors and coach up your body's natural healing abilities. As FDN practitioners and coaches, we assess metabolic dysfunction through functional lab tests, uncover hidden stressors, provide personalized protocols to restore balance. We focus on addressing the real problems, not just masking the symptoms. We're not just putting a Band-Aid. So if you're ready to end the cycle of trial and error, send me a message. Let's dive into the root cause and resolve your metabolic chaos for good. Remember, it's not just one thing. It's everything. We need to coach down and coach up the body's natural healing abilities. So that's kind of what we do in step 3. Everyone's different. We go through these phases: relief care, corrective phase, maintenance phase. Start with the weakest area. I rather say area of opportunity, get it going, relief, and then we course correct, and then we're maintenance. Still check back. We should still run the labs. Every 6 months, ideally, you should be running the labs for sure every year, but I think every 6 months. Answer questions, course correct, get feedback, accountability, and retest and refer out when you need to. So FDN system works because we don't diagnose, we do not treat, we do not prescribe. We do make observations about metabolic chaos and remove as many contributors and stressors as possible, unmasking the basic symptoms that are actually failing. We nurture and restore these functions, support the weak links that are part of metabolic chaos. So the body works to find homeostasis, so you, the client, gets better. So distress of any kind contributes to loss of homeostasis, dysfunction. That's metabolic chaos. This weakened state of health, left unchecked, may diminish your vital reserve. This leads to symptoms downstream. Whoops, there's end, and further dysfunction. Our job is to look upstream, use labs available to identify opportunities to restore function and balance. This requires adopting behaviors and self-care therapies that coach up your vital reserve, strategic reserve, and metabolic reserve, while we coach down contributors to metabolic chaos, allowing the body to return to health and vitality. And those symptoms simply disappear when we restore order, function, balance, and innate intelligence. So you can choose a self-care model, be a health optimizer, and choose to improve how you age from the inside out at a cellular level so you can thrive and not struggle as you age. Or wait and be forced to be in a disease care model if you're just waiting until you're sick and struggling and have disease. I am very passionate about people taking action now. I don't understand why we are taught and just wait until we have pain or discomfort or something seriously wrong with us that we have to go to the doctor and get surgery for something and on medications. Why do we wait that long? If you want to be proactive, be a health optimizer, start taking care of yourself at middle age so your prime is older age. You are kicking butt when you're 70, 80, 90 years old. We're retired, hopefully, after 65 years old, 70, maybe for some. And we should be thriving and traveling and living the best life ever. That should be our prime when we finished working day after day. When you're in retirement, I want you to be in your prime. So if you want to schedule a free discovery call with me, send me a message. I'll give you the link to set up a Zoom call with me. All right. Hopefully that helps you. 4 reasons I'm giving you this gift for a coaching call. Health problems get worse over time if not treated. You will feel great if we improve your health and eliminate your symptoms. Feeling great is what life is all about. I'm not going to waste your time or money. If I can't help you, I will let you know and refer you to someone else that can. You have nothing to lose because I'm giving you a consultation that's free and there's no charge. And I'll give you a nutritional therapy assessment form at no charge. So just message me at debbiepotts.net and you can let me know. Get a call with me. Just send me a message, Coach Debbie Potts at iCloud, and we'll get it scheduled. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, if this resonates with you, or you might know someone else that can understand that might be struggling with what they're doing now. If you are motivated to get results, but what you're doing is not working, the definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If that is you, you want to get your vibrant self and your body back again before you're really in trouble, let's get started now. All right. Let me know. Head to debbiepotts.net or send me a message and I'll give you my link to schedule a free call. Thank you guys. Talk soon. I look forward to hearing from you.